Hey guys, I haven't been away for a while. I've been moving house, but I'm back with a updated BA Block Dragon build. It's worked really well, very strong deck. Still does everything it done last format, just more consistent. Just one or two extra little bits here and there, depending on how you build it. Like you can play things like Lethal Sagan, which are really strong, but it tends to brick. So let's get right into the list. So we play 2 Tour Guide. Tour Guide came back to one of the best cards for this deck, the best starter at least. This plus any extender equals your turn 1 Tour Guide. Oh no, turn 1 Cherubini plus Dante. And it's one less extender needed than the Mathman, which is very nice. 2 is out your lineup from deck to get your graph. Means that you can send any level 3 of Cherubini instead of just sending the graph or the Rhino, which I really like. So it means that you have more versatility in some games where sometimes you need just an extra Sea Archiver just in case. Then we play with 3 Mathman. Still probably the second best normal summon in the deck. Sends anything you need. If you got Overline, you send that. If you got 2 extenders in hand, you can send either Rex or Bulb. For more extenders further on in the turn. Or if you're under Dark Hole, you can send Rex to summon it, which is also nice. You can send Farther to remove a threat, which Mathman just covers all bases and it's really nice. And if they hand trap this and you have no extenders, which is unlikely but can happen, it also gives you that draw, which can save you. And the last starter, we've got the Terratop plus the Tapatumborg. This engine's so nice. Like, even if I draw it off a Sayuja later on the turn, as long as I haven't milled the Takatumborg, I'll still keep this to summon off a Sayuja, because it is the 1 card Levier Dragon. So like, you got Sayuja plus other cards on the field, Sayuja effect special on this, search special overlay. Now you don't need to worry about your rank 3 to bring out your Force of Dino, which actually comes up quite often. Now you play the BA cards, so you got 1 Rhino, 1 Graph, 1 Seer, 1 Farther, 1 Livic. Still playing the same ratio. I've been tempted to cut the Farther, but it comes up enough where I need to send off a Mathman or send off a Cherubini to remove a threat. And even discarding it off a Cerberus is really nice against a single negate, because you discard this off a Cerb and then you would banish their monster and then they can't really do much. That was at least in my previous build. I've recently taken Cerb out because I need more extra space, because the extra is so tight in this deck. So going on to the level 3 extenders, 3 Gallus. So since I'm playing Gallus, you can probably assume that I'm playing a small spell and trap lineup, which is correct. We'll get onto that in a little bit, but this is the best extender, or one of the best cards in the deck. It summons, it mills, it's an earth, it's a beast, and it does burn damage. In this deck, this is what saves you in game 3. This is what saves you when you have brick hands. Even now, I still mill spells, which I'm very sad about. Even when I have 1 left in deck, still do it. But it's worth it. Like, for 15 to 20 times you hit it, I'll bet than that 1 time you miss it. And then for the dangers, we'll play 2 Snake and 2 Jackalope. I cut the danger lineup down because the deck is getting really tight recently with all the extenders I like to play. I was playing a Nessie and a Mothman, but I've cut them recently because they don't really further your game plan, because your whole premise of this deck is to make rank 3s, and Nessie and Mothman don't really help with that. Nessie searches one of these, and Mothman just tries to draw you into better cards, but we've just got so much better cards to play instead of them at the moment in time. Other level 3 extenders, we've got the Edge of Saber, Sea Archiver, Psychic Wielder, and a Tracker. So these two extenders are so free. Like, if Samsung ever comes back, I'll be playing 2 of each because I'll be making Barkion, so I don't die to evenly every time, which is very fun. Any level 3 on field, especially something that's in defense. Then you got your Dante, you got your Levier, you got another extender going to Curious. You have, it just does everything. It really does. Also, if you get into a very grindy matchup, you can send this off of Cherubini to make Cherubini a 2-1, or you can make your Dante 4,100 attack because it's got 1,600, and Cherubini targets a B8 and gains that attack, which is very fun. Then we go on to the Sea Archiver. I'd say probably the second best extender, just after Gallus, because no matter where it is, you can summon it. If it's in grave, if it's in hand, as long as you're just doing your combo normally. You can chain block your tour guide if you know something to Cherubini zone. It does everything again. Like, chain blocks is a free summon, and it also saves you a few times because this triggers when either player summons to a zone and it multiple points to. So, like when I was playing against Orcus, when I go in battle phase with like Broadsword plus Dingus, and got like defense position, block dragon, or like I have a small field, but not enough for him to kill me through. But yes, Gizmek. So he wants my field. He summons Gizmek to his own Broadsword points to, and then says game. But then he doesn't realise I've got this engrave, summon this, and then that gives me another turn, which can just beat everything in this. And worst case scenario, if you absolutely brick, just set it, it's got 2-1 defense, and sometimes it catches people off guard, and it's very funny. And then Egypt Saber, very nice, you can send off a Rhino, and puts any bricks back into your deck, so you can put like a old lion, you can put things like Gigantes back in, things like if you got 2 normal summons, put one of them back in, and it works. It's a Dark Fiend, so it makes Curious kind of easy with Cherubini and another like Danger or anything like that, which is nice. It's a staple in this deck, like, you can't really cut it. And now, things what people have cut recently are 2 Hydra. I still like this because I like playing rank 8s, and it also means I get a free, an extra Dante, because if Smill's free for free, and if I have Cherubini on the field and something point to it, or just summon this to Cherubini's own, uses the effect mill free as cost. If they're all different, try to pop itself, but then since it's a link to Cherubini, it doesn't die, which means an extra 3 mills, which can just be like the difference between ended on the Dingisu or just ended on normal board and then Rigeki Unis die if you don't have Nat Beast either, which is very nice. And then we play the Gizmek. Just like I said, I like the rank 8 Dingisu, it protects my whole field. If I'm going second, it sends a card, which is very strong. And Gizmek is kind of a must now. Like, in a simplified game states, this comes up so often. Banish 8, summon it, block an attack, and then on your turn just pop a card. And this by itself is a game winner. You can also cheese some draws and some wins in time. If they declare battle phase as time's going down, you can do this and still in main phase. And since the game state has changed, you're still in the main phase, which is a bit scummy, but if you need that one more win, or you need that one more draw to top, it's something you can do. Then we got the 2 block dragon this time. I've cut it down from 3 to 2, because I keep on seeing too many of it, but I want to play 3, I just don't want to go more than 42 cards. 42 is a bit much still. I want to go down to 40, but I just don't have any idea what to cut, because everything in there is a combo piece or a engine requirement or a power card. You can't really cut any of them without lacking with consistency a lot, which sounds very counterintuitive. Putting more cards in to increase consistency by decreasing consistency. Now we've got the search targets for Black Dragon. So we play the 3 Gigantes this time. No Rock Spirit. I'm in the 1 Fossil Dino. I've started playing 3 Gigantes because against things like Perzoic Frog and used to be Draco, this came up so often just to clear the whole back row. And even now people don't realise what it does. Like, some is in defense against like Ortgeist and they don't read cards. They attack into us, this dies, you wipe the whole back row, and that can just win you games so often. And then the Fossil Dino, that is your kind of win condition against any combo deck, where you summon this either with Sayuja or with Levier, bring it back, have protection for it, and they can't do anything, which is very nice. They can't special summon, which in basically every other deck this format is essential. So now we go into the last level 4, we've got Giant Rex. It's just a free extender, banish it for Black Dragon, bring it back for free. It's a dinosaur and an earth, so you can make Curious quite easily because it's the only dinosaur in the deck. Surprisingly, this isn't a dinosaur, this is a rock. So yeah, it's a nice card. It's pretty big as well as a normal summon if you need to get over something and just attack a boss off the game, because this can't attack directly. It's just a recurring resource which really helps this deck. So now we go into the tuners. We play the 1 Destrudo, 1 Lion, 1 Bulb. Bulb's tough as to make that beast, and it's also easily to make Curious because it's a plant earth, which comes up quite a lot. Play the Lion because Mathman sends this to make a 1-card Cherubini, because when it gets sent to grave, it makes a level 3 token, and it's whenever it's sent to grave, so you can discard it off of a danger or a nightmare, and you still get the token. And you can also use it to chain block, because you can go like, if you mill it off of Dante and you detach a graph, go chain it 1 graph, chain it to your line, give you the token. So then means that your graph safe, so your play can continue, and you can go into the Appaloosa before anything you care about gets ashed or buried, or even Nibiru. Then we've got the Shooter. One issue with this deck is it can't play around evenly, and it can't play through impermanence if you hold it. So my idea with this is to have a trap negate using Dawn Dragster. I like it because game 2 and game 3 I'll try and get into this as well, if I got time on game 3 of course, because if I get hit by it evenly, there's no way I'm getting back from that if I commit my whole hand to a board. If I semi-commit, I probably won't use it. I'll probably just have it in your graveyard as a resource for next turn. But I also like this card because it's got loads of level motivation. So you can go for, if you need level 3, target level 4, summon this. If you need a level 4, put it on level 3. If you need a level 1, put it on 6. If you need a 6, put it on a 1. It comes up a lot in every single situation. It's one of the best cards in the deck, and worst case scenario, it's a 3k blocker, which doesn't come up much, but if you really need to, it's there. So now we go on to the level 6 package. So we play Malicious and then the 1 Sulcius. So I play these because it harmonics Beatrice, which is another Foolish Burial, which is very strong. And I spoke to Joshua Oosters about his list, what came second at the Netherlands Regional recently, and he said this was one of his favourite packages in the deck, and when he saw my list he said that he would always put this in, so I gave it a try. I really like it. I do get a bit of PTSD whenever I see multiple Mallies in hand, because I used to play this back when Snow was legal. It happens, but it's just the deck. If you draw multiples, it's tough shit. Right, it's just variance at that point, because there'll be 15 games where you mill it off of Gallus, and then now you got 2 free link materials, or you got your free Beatrice to flourish or something, and then there'll be one game out of that 100 games where you open all 3, and that's just going to happen sometimes. You can't really do anything about it, just get on with it. And then the one Sokius, play with Sokius because you can send it off a Rhino, and then this helps get bricks out of your hand. So if you have this and then like Bulb in hand, you can go Rhino, send this to grave, Effective Sokius, send these two to grave from a hand to then summon it. So now you've got 2 more live cards, which I really like. And it's also 2/2, which isn't too big, but it can come up where you just need it to partner up. You need 1 more monster to partner up with Borsod just to attack the game. And if you've got cards in the hand and this in grave, there's no point not to use it, which is very nice. So that's all the monsters, that's 40 monsters. So I play 2 spells. I would class this as a Sekka's Light build, because we do play both now one of Sekka's Light, sadly. Winter 1 is rough, because this was one of your best starters. If you drop this and you have like a tour guide in hand, you can kind of guarantee that your tour guide will go through without being ashed, because if you see a draw 2 for free, you're gonna ash that. You have to. Also, this game gives the deck a lot of consistency, with just 3 pot of greens in the deck, and also a mulligan, which the mulligan actually comes up more than the draw with awkward hands, because you can put your online back into deck, now you got your full combo. You can put your Seer back into deck, now you got your full combo. You can put Malicious back into deck, now you have 1 in hand, 2 in deck, instead of 2 in hand. So it comes up, and it's sure to, why not play it? So for my last spell, I play the Avarice. So people who's looking at this might think that these 2 conflict, and they do, but not as bad as some people might assume. So there's a very small percentage that you'll see one of these now, because in a 42 card deck is, in your opening 5 card hand is very short. It will happen maybe at once every like 3-4 games, maybe. Even like maybe 5 to 8, in that sort of range, where you see one of these. Where if you see this, you use this, and now this is 1 dead card in deck. If you see this, use this is now dead card. But fair enough, this still isn't a dead card necessarily, because if you use this and then you mill this, you can still use a mulligan effect, even though you still use Avarice, because this doesn't lock you into spells and traps, and it doesn't require you to have no spells and traps in your graveyard to use, which I really like. That's how I really like using these cards. So use a shuffle back, draw 2, and then mill this and use a mulligan effect. And there'll be hands where you draw both of these, where you just have to kind of decide on the hand what you want more. Most of the time, I prefer the Sekka's Light, because you can use it as a starter instead of extender. And there'll be times where you mill this and you join to this, and then you just can't do anything. That is the only time where both cards are dead. And it happens. Like, the amount of you mill in this deck, it will pop up once or twice, but it's worth the payoff, because there'll be 1 hand out of 15 which will be dead because you play 2 spells. But then for other 14 hands, these will win you the game. Even using Avarice to shuffle back your Sayuja to then use it again, because since I only play 1 Sayuja, it does come up where I need the second one occasionally, but the extra deck space is so tight where I physically cannot play it, because I like a crap ton of tech options. Well, that is the 42 card main deck. So now going to the extra deck. Of course, we got the Beatrice Judge token. You can't play BA without having that token. You just can't. So we got Verdante, Revier, Beatrice, and Dingisio. These are my 4 Xyz. Dante, Heart and Soul deck. If you don't make Dante turn 1, you're gonna lose that. Like 9 out of 10 times you're gonna lose if you don't make Dante game 1. Revier, you use it as an either extender or to finish up your play by bringing back with Foster Diner. And it's just a generic rank 3, which is very nice. Beatrice, I wanted to cut this so often, but since I've started playing with Malicious Sulcius, I can't now. This comes up so often now because of Malicious. How I'm making this is very good because a Foolish Burial for any card in your deck is so strong in this. If you don't have Block Dragon, send Block Dragon. If you don't have a bulb and you want the Nat Beast because you know you're playing against like Pendulum, send the bulb. If you need just one more Earth, send like Rhino, send a Giant Rex, anything like that. It is so good. And then Dingisu is there to help you go second and also protect your whole going first board. Because I play 5 level 8s. One of them can special summon for free by banishing top 8 cards. The other 2, there's 2 which summon from hand for basically free. And the other 2 are non-hunt once per turn, special summon from grave or hand. So this, you can make it, I want to say 4 out of 5 hands. As long as you've got your main combo, you can make this most of the time. And it's really strong. The only issue with Dingisu is a dark, and it helps being super polyed if I imperm your Fossil Diner, which kind of sucks, but it's worth. Like, even going second, just over there into this, send a card, and you got 2/6. Worst case scenario, use it as a link material, and then use the Block Dragon you use as material for it again. So that's very strong. So now the link 2s, we play the Cherubini, IP Masquerena, and Phoenix. I recently cut the Cerberus because of extra space. For my last build, the Cerberus came up a lot because I was struggling to make Curious, because I would just run out of extenders in hand, and then I would need 1 more Earth, or I need 1 more Dark. And if I do the Dark route, it means I need to use my IP. And if I go with that, now my Appaloosa can be destroyed by card effects. Now my Avamax can be destroyed by card effects, which, at least in like the Altergeist matchup, matters a lot. Because if you make your Avamax, the main way to out it is make Hextia plus Marionetta and tack over. If you use the effects, it means that it can't be destroyed by card effects. So then, if they try and protocol it, you're fine. They just attack over it by battle instead of destroyed by card effects. They lose a resource, and then they attempt to destroy it, and then you can shuffle 1 back, which is very strong. The Phoenix, because it always comes up. I've tried cutting it instead of a Cerberus. That's a bad idea. Every time I cut this card, I need it. Every time I think, oh, I'd rather have Cerberus for the Curious, or have a board blocker just to get more cards in the grave. I always go up against Imperial Iron Wall against any sort of floodgate, and it's hell to play through if you don't have a Phoenix. And then the Cherubini, there's not much to say about this card. It sends for cost, it protects everything it points to. It is, I want to say, the 2nd best card in this extra deck. It truly is. It allows you to search out your Graph and Seer, so it doesn't matter that they're at 1. You can bring it back with Seer, send another level 3 on turn 3 if they break the board, and then just go off. It is a stupid card. It protects itself by sending any card on your field, so if you play a back row heavy deck, you can have Cherubini up there. If they try to attack into it, just send any spells or traps you don't need, or any which are bluffs. So you could send like a Orcus Crescendo if you want to play the BA Orcus variant. If you don't have your Galatea, send that. During your end phase, just search for Dark Machine. and you also protect this, which is very good, because this is a very key card if you want to go into grind games, because this flourishes anything you need, any level 3 that is. Now to my link 3s, go Unicorn and Curious. I want to fit in the Trisbania, which I believe I will be just playing my side deck from now on, but the Unicorn comes up to break boards so often, and also make Avamax, and the Curious, I was so afraid that she was going to go on the ban list, but thank God that she didn't go. The deck is now still viable because she's around. The deck is always going to be viable, it's just this is a key piece. In about 8 out of 10 hands I need to go into her at some point, and it's so necessary. So now for the Link 4s, we play 4 of them. Because this deck can pump out so many monsters, you don't really care about the smaller Link monsters unless it's in the grind game. So you've got Sayuja to draw for your deck and to sort out your hands, which does come up quite a lot. It also specials from hand, so if you draw into a top later on your combo, you can special it, make you rank 3 for free. Appaloosa to stop Nibiru, to stop hand traps, and also give you 3 Link arrows. Avamax to protect your board and to also basically kill off untargetable, to kill off anything which is untargetable, and for any deck which has struggled getting rid of untargetable, indestructible monsters, this is key. Like in the Autocast matchup, this is so strong. You need to play it. And then Borsal Dragon, this is still Borsal deck. You can pump it out with using like 2 cards in hand, and you still have 3 more cards in hand just to finish off. It is so strong. I wanted to cut it once or twice because I feel I have enough damage I can make with the other Link 4s, but you just can't cut it. It is one of the best cards in your deck. So now we're going to the Synchros. We play the 1 That Beast and then the 1 John Dragster. Recently put this in because, like I said, I was afraid of Evenly. I'm afraid of Impermanence. Because trap cards are really a struggle to face this deck. And then That Beast, any Pendulum deck, it outs. If anyone's playing Spellbook in 2020, it outs. Because spell cards are still very strong. Little Night Tiger, great target to hit. Even Sky Strike is still being played a little bit. This is your win con, it truly is. So that was my deck. So I hope you enjoyed it. Comment any sort of changes you would make. I'll read into them, I'll just test them out, see how we do. Let me know what you think, because I really like this build. It feels very strong. It feels a little bit weak to the All-Stars matchup, which I'm trying to tweak into it. So I'm really tempted to play with Trisbania with that extra, like I said. Really tempted to play more back row removal in the form of monsters, because the Sekazai and the Gallus are just so good you cannot not play them in this variant of the deck at least. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.